How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. So as you may know, it's that time of year again when I like to pick up a new project for the channel. We have purchased another 2019 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk from Copart. This one's going to have a little bit different damage than the last one that we purchased that you may have seen last year on the channel. Now the delivery truck is just about here. It's going to be pulling up any minute. So let's take a walk outside, get this Trailhawk off the truck, bring it into the garage, inspect it, and start taking it apart so we know what parts we need to order to begin putting it back together. So there we have it, guys. We got the Jeep in the garage, and you did notice that I had to pull it off of the truck with my other Jeep. The reason for that is there is no transmission fluid in this thing. And what I have found is that over here, the front pan on the transmission does have a hole in it. So what we're going to have to do to be able to get this moving is replace that pan. I've already got the parts for it, but in order to access it, we at least need to get some of this taken off the front. So we're going to get on that right now, get all this damage removed from it, and get access to that pan, see if we can install the new pan, new cooler lines, and a new cooler, put some new fluid in it, and see if we can get this thing moving under its own power. So now that we have full access in here with all the radiators and everything removed, we're going to get into the transmission. We got to replace this front oil pan here. Now, once we're in here, I'm going to also replace the range sensor, which is right here. I'm not sure if this is damaged internally or the wiring harness that goes behind it might be messed up. So I have a new one of those. I'm going to change that as well. We're going to start by removing all of the torque screws that hold this pan in. Once we get that off, we'll be able to further inspect the valve body and other front components of the trans here, see if there's anything messed up in there, and we'll be able to clean anything up while we're in there, get any little bits of plastic that might have fallen in and out. We'll seal it back up with a new pan, new sensor, new fluid, new lines will connect up here, and we'll see if we can get this thing to go into gear. So it looks like the valve body is undamaged. That's great news. Looks like it was just the cover and this connector that were damaged. Next, to be able to replace the range sensor here, we have to remove the valve body from the transmission. So we're going to start by removing the applicable Torx bolts that are required to get that out, and then we'll slide the whole unit out, replace the sensor, and then we'll install the unit once again. So now we have the valve body out of the transmission. Inside of the trans looks pretty decent, fairly clean, as it should for 22,000 miles. Got the valve body over here. Now we're going to start working on removing the range sensor from the valve body, get the new one installed, and get this unit put back in the trans. So now we have the new range sensor installed. We're going to start reinstalling the valve body. We're going to start by installing the speed sensor and the sensor that detects the gear shift position. Both of these need to be installed and torqued to specification. These are going to be T27 torques, and they're both going to be torqued to 49 inch-pounds. All 10 of these valve body to transmission bolts are T40 size, and they need to be torqued to 71 inch-pounds each. So we're going to do that now, get them run down, and then we'll torque each one of them individually. That is going to end today's video. We got a ton accomplished from getting that Cherokee off of the transport truck and getting it brought into the garage because it didn't run or drive under its own power. Had to use the other red Cherokee that I rebuilt in last year's videos on the channel to get that thing pushed in here, which actually worked out pretty decent. We also went ahead and took apart the front end, did a complete teardown on it to see what I need to buy in order to get this thing back to factory condition. And then we noticed that there were some misfire codes being set, which traced back to some damaged wires in the left front corner of the engine bay on the engine harness. So we got those fixed, resolved the misfire conditions, and then we moved on to getting the thing driving on its own. Which the reason it wasn't driving on its own was because at the auction, all of the transmission fluid had leaked out of the plastic pan that was broken from the impact where one of the red tow hooks was pushed back. It went through the pan and created a little hole where the fluid could leak out. So we went ahead, put a new pan, new conductor plate on the valve body, new cooler and new lines, filled it with fresh fluid, and that thing, as you saw at the end of the video, drove out of the garage under its own power for the first time. So that'll make it completely drivable in and out of the garage for the rest of the rebuild process and will make our lives a lot easier. So if you guys found this video helpful or interesting, feel free to drop a like, share a comment if you want to. If you have any questions or anything to say regarding the rebuild process, please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see the rest of this rebuild come to life before your eyes right here in the garage. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.